What's up everyone? Today we will be talking about fear. This is episode 8 of the Training Ground series. So let's get into it. What do I mean by fear in the market? Fear is that kind of sensation that comes to your heart, basically, heavy on your heart. When you enter a position that you're like, okay, well, this is going to be a good position, but then something comes into your mind and you're like, damn, maybe this is not a good trade to take. So you're just like waiting, and then boom, suddenly it hits your TP and you're like, oh fuck, I missed out on this trade. And you didn't take that trade because you were fearful. Or another part of this is when you're in a trade and you're like, oh, I made $250 in profit, and then it only moved to like half of your TP, and you're like, well, I think it's going to come back up to my break even or my stop loss, so you just close the position. Then you realize 10 minutes later it hit your full TP and you could have made $500 instead of 250. So this is the fear. I mean, when you're trading, this fear creeps in, your fear of loss, of the mistakes, the success. You're like, oh, maybe I won't make $500 today on this trade, or like 100 or 50, and you're like, no, I cannot do it, I cannot be successful. I mean, who am I to be successful? But you should just kind of, it's hard to forget it, but just ignore it. You have to learn this. This is why market experience is really important. That every day you're just sitting at the charts and you can backtest as well. It gets to a point where you backtest, it will actually make your trading worse, because you will be like, oh, this and this happened, so I probably shouldn't take this trade, and then it doesn't really happen because you looked at a 2 a.m. trade or something like that, like some Asia session trades, whatever. So you can overcome this fear really easily by accepting it. So first of all, you have to accept the fear, because it is part of your trading journey and every single person goes through it. Some people don't really care about it that much, and then some people just quit trading because of fear, and they will be stuck because they cannot take a trade. Like, they are just physically unable to go and click on the sell or the buy button to actually take a trade, and they're just like grounded with fear that, oh no, I don't want to lose this account, blah 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 blah, whatever, I don't want to lose $50 today on my live account or whatever. And the next thing, you should just focus on your process, not just the outcome, because if you focus on trading, you will make it one day. I mean, maybe it will take 3 years for you, maybe it only takes like a year to be profitable for you, but that's part of your journey. And when you're profitable, you will look back at this journey and you're like, wow, I missed out on so many things because I was fearful, and it just kind of like fucks up your mental a lot, because every single time that fear comes creeping in, and you have to learn to ignore that. And maybe you take a losing trade, or you have a losing streak and you have like 7 trades that you lost, but you still should come back to trading with a new mindset, with the things you learned. Because if you don't learn from your mistakes and from your fear, it won't go away. And you cannot deal with it if the fear stays the same. And you cannot come back to the markets without that fear after losing streak, because your losing streak will just continue to go on if you're so fearful in every trade you take. You should also trust yourself, because your fear comes from not trusting yourself, your strategy, your trading plan, and then also your research and your backtesting sessions. Because when you have fear, you're just saying fuck you to yourself, basically, because you were the one that researched that strategy, you backtested, you did everything, so there's no reason you should be fearful, because you researched everything, right? I mean, you learned the strategy, maybe you went through this course 100 times. You have this in the bag, basically. You have everything you need to trade. So your fear is only the fear that you feel. So this fear just comes from not being 100% positive in your strategy and your research. The third thing that helps is setting your risk management straight. So I mentioned in the previous videos, you should be risking 0.5 to 1% or maximum 2% a day. That's like the max. If you risk 2%, you should only risk 2% because it's an A+ setup. Like, it's an amazing setup, like the cleanest liquidity sweep you've ever seen, the clearest breakout structure, the best fair value gap you've ever seen in your trading career, that's the only reason when you can risk 2% on your prop account or live or whatever. An A plus setup, that's when you risk 2%. Don't go into an A plus setup with 0.5% risk, because if you do, you will be fucked. Because when you realize that you made $200 instead of making $800, you will want to hang yourself. I'm sorry for this, but that's the worst feeling. When you go into a trade with really low risk and then you realize you could have made 2x that, that's when your mental really fucks with you. Like in the next 10 trades, you will risk much more than 0.5%, and that's when you blow your fundeds, or when you lose all your fucking money in your live account. So set your risk management straight and learn your shit, because that's the only way you can overcome fear, is by being 100% positive in yourself. In here, and in here also. Another thing I would say is when you're in the demo phase, aim for like a 200k account. Maybe your first funded account won't be a 200k account, but if you trade with 200k, you won't be scared of losing $50, which is 1%, on your 5k account with your first funded. Because when you're on the 200k demo account and you see $2,000 in one single trade that you blew, that $50 won't be that much. It's still 1% of your account. That's basically the only thing that actually matters. But try to trade with a big account, so when you see the actual numbers on the screen, you won't get scared and you won't close like a $200 position because you were practicing with $1,000 and you're like, oh, $200 is a lot, but in reality that's like 0.4% of your 50k account, which you can actually get for pretty cheap nowadays. You should also journal your trades, because if you don't journal every single trade you take, you cannot learn from your mistakes, and you also cannot learn from your wins. So journal every single trade you take. Doesn't matter if it's your first trade ever. If you've been trading for 2 years, you should still journal every trade, so you can learn from your mistakes and you can learn from your winners as well. And that way, when you're actually learning from your own trades, that's when fear will just say goodbye. It will still be there. It will be staying back there in your room, but it won't be right here talking to you in 200% volume, saying that just quit this trade, just close the position. It will be at the back of the room, maybe whispering, or he will just be like fondling his fingers and blabbering to himself. So to sum up, fear is basically non-existent. The fear you feel is just your own mind trying to protect you from losses. But if you're on a demo account, you cannot lose any real money. If you're in a prop firm and you pay $50 for a challenge, you're not losing your $5,000. You can only lose $50. That's why prop challenges are really good, because you can only lose your $50. So fear, just overcome fear. Because when that fear goes from right here to the back of the room, that's when you can really elevate your trades. Until you can beat fear by trusting yourself, your strategy, you journal your trades, you trade really big positions on your demo account, you cannot advance in trading if that fear is right next to you instead of being back at the room. So just work on this. No homework for today, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow with strategy, and peace out.